Καλησπέρα σε όλους.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to start by thanking the Energy Press team for the invitation for having us here. We will start with a very short company presentation of Energy Services Company, or ESC. ESC is a part of the Vattenfall Group, as a subsidiary of Vattenfall Group, with main pillars, as you see on the slide: services and engineering services, RES and storage projects, as well as construction of chargers, EV chargers. Also energy services such as negotiation of PPAs, aggregator services in cooperation with Vattenfall. ESC is a leading company of energy with strong roots in the energy sector. Our main goal is to combine the construction of energy projects, storage energy projects, and RES projects using successful technologies of digitization and innovation, using, of course, project management and marketing. We are the construction arm of Vattenfall, and we use these innovation and digitization technologies. Our vision is to provide comprehensive solutions with an absolute control of the projects, and to be the leaders in the energy market by improving the adaptation of new systems through development and research. Our team provides high-quality services in energy projects, RES projects, and electromechanical projects in Europe and outside of Europe. We have a large experience with engineering projects in Europe and in Greece, and that gives us a comparative advantage in terms of the competition. We can provide design and engineering services and licensing services in line with the local and international legislation. We can also provide contractor services for the design, supply, and construction of photovoltaic projects, chargers, and storage energy projects. We provide turnkey solutions for our customers, and we also provide the digitized, automized project management and construction within specs and within time by using the proper tools and software. This is what we have achieved. We have completed the 40 projects of chargers and 16 of photovoltaic parks only 2021 through through this crisis situation with COVID. These are some of the projects, solar and projects in Greece. The O&M services that we can provide, operation, maintenance, and some chargers, installations, charging points. This is the second part of the presentation that has to do with a holistic approach of RES and the solar projects, and the role of net metering, energy storage, and electromobility. The solar energy, as you know, is above any other type of energy. It moves our planet. As you know, the distance between the sun and the Earth is covered within 8.3 minutes by the light. Whereas it takes about 8 minutes, therefore, for the solar radiance to arrive to the Earth. That's a tremendous source of energy, very fast and tremendous source of energy. And our wish is that before we actually run out of carbon and petroleum, we should actually utilize these energy sources. Depending on the sources of energy that we use, We have autonomous systems, interconnected systems, and a hybrid type of systems. On the bottom, you see projects, solar panels on a house, and then a project in the Middle East that was used to rely on oil. It is an important part, the solar parks, the photovoltaic parts are an important part of energy in Greece. We can cover the daily demand and seasonal demand using photovoltaic parks. You see with the orange color the production of solar electricity and then the consumption of electric energy. And you see that these curves coincide because we have increased consumption needs during the day because of the operation of industries, of the schools and the offices, and etc. And moreover, the curves coincide on a yearly period. So you don't have peak demand during the night, peak demand is during the day. However, storage plays an important role, energy storage, because any peak that might occur during the nightly hours, we can round the corners using energy storage. And which means that the photovoltaic energy can be considered as a base load, not only a peak load. Now, the role of net metering. In the past, we used to have some large computers that were the size of rooms. This is what's happening with other technology as well. Now we have, for example, all these capabilities on our cell phone, much smaller. The same thing happens with energy generation, energy production. The production units are shrinking in size. And that helps us decentralize the production of energy. You see here some projects in the United Emirates. You see a worldwide turn into this decentralized production generation units. Regarding net metering, without entering into too much detail, you can see that you can have self-consumption or absorption of the energy by the grid, that's the red arrow, or you can have only self-consumption from the photovoltaic system and infusion into the system for storage and later use. To reach the conclusion here, the comparative advantage of net metering is it is an attractive solution that it's easy to amortize the cost, very fast, even less than 3 years time, whereas other installations such as solar panels for houses may take up to 10 years to be amortized. This is a comparatively very short period of amortization that can be more attractive, which means, because in the end, all businessmen or companies are trying to find ways to reduce their costs. And this is a very good way because the installation costs are also lower. And they can help our industries. Right now, they're going through a difficult time with the increase in natural gas prices with the COVID crisis. In the end, potential customers can be any type of building we have in Greece. Also, moving on to the last part of the presentation, we can reduce competitive charges up to 100% and regulated charges as well. We want to have as much synchronicity as possible. Because it is in the benefit of the end user. This is an indicative system of 3.5 kilowatts. you see the need for the absorption by the grid. The green with the, you see the yellow is the generation, the production by the solar panel, the red is the absorption by the system, and the green is this synchronicity with self-absorption. We want to make it as, this part as large as possible, the green part. There are also some technical difficulties that reduce the installed power, but we can find some solutions. Here you can see some of them. Solutions that have to do with a part of construction. It's difficult, for example, sometimes to find a large enough area on roofs to use. On the left, you see a car park with solar panels, and you can see how close it is to the industrial zones, to the buildings. Also, all the studies, all the trends have shown that electromobility will reach 50 million cars in 2030. So there will be increased needs for kilowatt hours, increased energy needs in the next years. So net metering with electromobility and storage will be a nice combination. According to the announcements by the Ministry of Energy and Climate, the percentage of electric vehicles in Greece will be over 30% by 2030, and that will create a boom in the market. We will need charging points in private areas, in car parks, near hotels, near supermarkets. Of course, we have to be careful because these private areas must have sufficient space. The chargers have to be firmly fixed. The distances for the routing of the cables is important. There will be the opportunity to have an immediate, to have some installations that will offer reduced charging time. And just to conclude, on the left, you see a traditional power system with the generation, transmission, the transformers, etc. Then on the right, we have the future power system. With the right, we include on the high voltage side, the wind power plants, solar panel plants, the storage projects, and then also on the low voltage side, we have the storage, we have the solar panels, and we also have electric mobility. We have a decentralized generation on the right side. This is the future. Some open questions are the reliability of the grid, but also flexibility, the capacity for storage. We will need to digitize the processes and the systems, the grid. We need decentralized consumption and demand. We have to be a mix of producers and consumers, or prosumers, something in the middle. Owners who will be able to set their prices using this net metering. And what is more important is that we have to plan ahead, because if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. We mentioned before this issue, we discussed it, we have to have the right geographical distribution in our 10-year plans. We have to look at things more macroscopically. We cannot deal with this problem on a section-by-section basis. It has to be a comprehensive study, comprehensive design, so we can implement the power requirements that we're looking for.